Hello, my viewers.
Welcome back to the great channel of the Arsenal the Great. I am your host, the Arsenal, the Waylon Butler, and I have came to proclaim my destiny. I just can't stop doing the accent thing with the medieval times yesterday. Seeing a little fight. I remember when I was a younger kid at first. The show used to be different though. It used to be like they had somebody jump for the crowd. This time it's different. My mom's birthday was yesterday, and she had her birthday at medieval times. Said the hat thing at medieval times. It's pretty different and pretty cool. They switched the show up a little bit. And fun fact, my mother actually, her favorite artist, a musical artist, she always listens to him, is Prince. And she shared the same birthday as him as well. So it's always fun like that. But yeah. That's what I was yesterday, but I'm back today. I'm back today to get you guys some great NFL news coverage and some other stuff as well. I have 2 videos today, so look out for today. I think the playoff game, if I'm not mistaken, is tonight as well. Another playoff game between the Mavericks and the Celtics. So be on the lookout for that. But without further ado, let's get into the video. Okay, the first topic today is the NFL lawsuit. The NFL is getting sued. It's a big lawsuit. $21 billion. It said the NFL is facing a class action lawsuit over Sunday ticket that could cost the league more than $21 billion. It's a class action lawsuit that has been making its way through the court system for nearly 10 years. It's finally seeing the light of day in the courtroom in this case, as it could cost the NFL more than $21 billion. The case, which was originally filed in 2015, revolves around Sunday ticket and whether the NFL violated any antitrust laws by offering their package to consumers. Starting in 1994, the NFL began offering Sunday ticket as an option for out-of-market fans who wanted to watch their home teams. For instance, the Steelers fans living in Seattle wouldn't have had many options to watch Pittsburgh play prior to 1984, but with the inception of Sunday ticket, the fans were able to watch every Steelers game. The argument from the plaintiffs is pretty simple. They think the NFL worked together with its network's partners to inflate the price of Sunday ticket. The attorney for the plaintiffs, Amanda Bone, said that price for Sunday ticket is unaffordable for most people. NFL's Fox, CBS, DirecTV agreed to make an expensive toll road that very few people will be able to afford. So yeah, I think Sunday ticket first started off. See, I was born 2001, so I wasn't there in 1994. But Sunday ticket when it first started off, I feel like early on it was a reasonable price, but that is true. When some of like the other networks like NFL, Fox, CBS, and other things, a lot of people was out of market for some of those games, and they were watching the games. I guess they thought they were losing money that way, so I guess they started upping the price. And they said they're working some type of almost like some type of monopoly scheme a little bit to like overcharge the consumers. And like Sunday ticket is very expensive now. It's like, I think for YouTube TV, I think YouTube TV is already $70. I have YouTube TV. It's like it's $70 already. And then if you buy Sunday ticket, I think Sunday ticket about what, $300, $400, $350. They say you get $50 off or something like that, but it's still very, very pricey, very expensive on certain aspects. And you look at other passes around the league, you look at the NBA pass, they have passes, I think like $14 a month, something like that. The NBA, I think they have one for like $7 a month, $39 for the full year. And some of them basketball teams also do like league pass, which I mentioned before, I think on the channel. The league pass, for like the team pass, like one, they have where like if you just want to watch this team play, you just pay a select price. It's like saying, oh, I just want to watch the Miami Heat play, so I pay like $10 just to watch the Heat play every month like that. Something more reasonable. The NFL probably should have went that approach of doing it. Maybe have where like every team has its own little subscription thing, and you just pay like this. If you don't want to pay for the whole coverage of everything, just pay like, hey, I just want to watch my team. I just want to watch the Steelers. I just want to watch this team right here. I just want to watch the Browns. I don't even want to watch the Browns in the first place, but I just want to watch the Browns. Watch the Browns play a little bit. I want to watch this team right here. I want to watch that team right there. And hey, it'd be better that way in that sense. And that was my hate towards the Browns. This is AFC North football. I always had the hatred ready, but. Yeah, I think NFL, they do lose this class action lawsuit. I think it started in 2015. I think 2014 is when they first came around and went to court a little bit, and they finally got it to this point. And they lose that at $21 billion. That's a big price. A big price. So we're gonna see what happens with that situation right here. But yeah, we're gonna see what happens with that. But move on to the next topic, which is about the mandatory minicamp. Okay, as you guys know, the mandatory mini camps is here, and we're seeing a lot of different news. This is all the teams basically that are kind of doing it right now. You look at some of the top news. They're talking about the Commanders, of course. McManus, the allegations that he faced last week. He got released on the kicker. Was on the plan. He's a former Jaguar. The SA allegation that happened right there too. They released, and they said they didn't know prior. Now this is, it's not a bad, I want to say a bad. Now it was the old management for the Commanders. I like it's a bad look because the Commanders have, when they had Snyder there as the owner, he was doing some terrible stuff. The Commanders still trying to find their organization to get the stuff built around. So I guess they had no choice but to release, like, get them out of there like that, because this is a bad look for the team entirety. And then and if it's deemed true that Brandon McManus did that, he shouldn't be on the field ever again. Kyler Murray, talk about him from the Cardinals, of course. They said he's locked in and ready and rolling. It's just ESPN list that had all the top news. Also by, of course, the Browns again. I don't know why, but Nick Chubb, he's coming. They say they have no date for him to return. Nick Chubb was my quarterback. I ain't gonna lie, was my running back I had on my fantasy team. He's a good player. Good player. I just had that, disdain versus the Browns. It's part of the whole deal. When you become a fan of any team in the AFC North, you have the disdain for every other team. But he was playing very good too at first, and then he had that injury, against the Steelers where he I think he like broke his leg, or he tore his ACL, MCL, some other stuff that happened. So they have no timetable for his return. He's an amazing player. I know the rumors at first people said they might trade him. I don't know about that. I don't think they trade Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb is a very good player, and they had that O-line together, and they have him out there too as well. They're a very good team, and so we're gonna see what happens. But yeah, they said they don't know if he's gonna be back or not. He said, I'm not looking too far ahead. That's what Chubb said on Wednesday. So they said he's taking him day by day. So he had to do a lot of surgeries and a lot of recovery. Not just like surgery, just getting you ready to get back to walk, but you got to go out there and do a physical therapy to make sure you're able to still cut the same way you used to do and be able to run the same way you can do as well. So we're going to see what happens with that. The Buccaneers also was doing their training camp as well. Tristan, I can never say his last name, Tristan Wirfs, to attend the mini camp after OTA absence. The all-pro left tackle they have on the team. Most players do skip out on the volunteering one sometimes, because you really don't have to go fully, especially if you're a veteran player too as well. You really don't have to go to that fully unless you want to get more accommodated with learning some of the rookies and learning about them as well. Some people just hold out, for maybe contract purposes as well. Like we're kind of seeing with, of course, the Cowboys. You see CeeDee Lamb doing that right now. For mandatory minicamp, looking for kind of like a bigger pay boost. I think I get a contract extension as well. They said Cowboys guard Zach Martin wonders if 2024 might be his final season. He's been playing in the league at a high level. They said for 11 years, multiple-time All-Pro. Was he like 9-time Pro Bowler, 7-time first-team All-Pro, future Hall of Famer? A lot of the Cowboys O-linemen, that's why they kind of been building on to get extra people. I think they got Tyler Guyton, they drafted him from Oklahoma. They're trying to find a way to get extra people on, because the O-line on their core, the Hall of Fame O-line they had, was kind of like retiring. Kind of like the Eagles O-line is doing a little bit too as well, but they're kind of retiring. So we're going to see exactly what happened. And that's always good to capitalize on your window when you have everything right. When you have the good linemen, when you have the quarterback, the running backs, the defense, you got to capitalize. So the Cowboys haven't capitalized yet, but they still have one more year to see what happens. Also, of course, you guys know I made a video on that separately. Cameron Sutton returning to the Steelers. Cameron Sutton he was drafted by, I think, in 2017, 2018, third round, drafted by us. And he kind of started off a little shaky, but then he got better and better as time went on. Then we found a spot for him to play in the slot. He got better. Then he played solidly on the outside as a cornerback too. So he kind of was a guy who could mix it up a little bit. Very physical, brought tenacity and energy. Just a good player. But off the field, they say he got arrested for domestic violence and stuff that happened. Now, if I haven't read the full case of that, but it's not a good look. It's not a good look for him. I'm not like I mentioned before. I'm not like saying as a player, he's good as a player, but what he did off the field is horrible. So if he might be suspended. I think to start the season off, he might be suspended for the first few years, and which is rightfully so. If he was running from the police as well, like that. So Cam Sutton, hopefully he can get himself back right and get himself back in a stable place and stuff. But just gotta see what happens. Let's see what else they got on here. They have say ex-Chargers and Packers center Lindsley retiring after 14 seasons. Of course, the Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins have a super kind of offense, a little bit, a fast-paced offense. A lot of different guys on the team. Look at Odell Beckham getting added with already Tyreek Hill there and Jalen Waddle there and Jonah Smith. All those guys have speed. Now Odell might be a little slower He's still fast, but he might be a little slower than what he was in the previous days like that because the injuries that happened to his knee. But he still has speed too as well. Jonas Smith as well, 4'4" guy as well, and then Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, of course, those guys like 4'3", maybe late 4'2s as well. Those guys can run with the best of them. And Tua style of offense and the style he plays in, he's very accurate on crosser routes, things in the middle and stuff. He might not have the strongest arm to get the ball and push it downfield, but he's very accurate in the middle. And I seen some thing at first too, like people trying to compare. I think I see something. It was like on Twitter trying to compare like Tua to Cincinnati and stuff like that. Like Cincinnati quarterback Joe Burrow. I was like, it's talking about whether they switch spots to see what happened. I'm like, guys, Tua, don't get me wrong, Tua's a good player, but man, if Joe Burrow was on the Dolphins, that would have been some crazy stuff. It'd be like they got a reincarnation of Dan Marino or something. That'd be crazy like that. But luckily that didn't happen because that'd be a super team right there. Tua's a good player. It's just like you got to get better at being consistent and in the key moments. Because he be like throughout the season, he have good numbers. You look at his numbers, you look at his completion percentage, he'd be all good. But in the biggest moments, can you go out there and be consistent? I remember the game last year against the Titans. He had an opportunity to run and get the first down, but he decided to just kind of like he held the ball too long. He had the gap open, but he held the ball too long. They tried to run late, but it's too late then. In the NFL, it's like a small window. You got probably like 1 second to make a decision. Like you see somebody get open, somebody cut and get open, throw it like right there. Don't hesitate. When you hesitate, bad things happen. You throw an interception, you throw behind, get deflected, or something happen like that. So Tua's got to learn how to be more consistent in the clutchest times. And he looked kind of crazy now too. He cut his beard off. Now he looked like a little kid too. I seen him taking pictures with the fans. The fans was bigger than him and stuff. It looked funny. The Texans, of course, like I mentioned before, Texans on this list as well. The Texans, I feel like had the best off season, in my opinion. My Steelers had a good off season too as well, as some other teams as well. But I think the Texans had a great off season. To already have C.J. Stroud on the team, you had this young core of guys. You add Joe Mixon to the team. You already got Dameon Pierce. You add Joe Mixon to the team. Now you got him and Dameon Pierce. You have, of course, Dalton Schultz on the team as well. And then you went out there and added Stephon Diggs to a team of receivers like Nico Collins already, who is there, and many other guys, who are there on the team. So they have a nice core of players, nice core of guys. The defense look good too as well. So they kind of like in the stage of like, hey, we're going out there and go crazy. Daniel Hunter got added to the team as well as a pass rusher. So they're gonna be nice teams. They're gonna be a team that's trying to push for a Super Bowl. The Texans have never been to a Super Bowl. They might be the same age as me. I think the Texans was made in 2001. It was 2001, but Texans not that old of an organization, but they're gonna find a way to get something done with a guy like C.J. Stroud playing. Remember I mentioned in my old video before the draft, like 2 years ago when C.J. Stroud got drafted. I said he reminds me of Aaron Rodgers. I'm not saying he's Aaron Rodgers. Well, now I can say that kind of is like that, But at first I was saying like on the video, I said I'm not saying he's Aaron Rodgers, but his play style, his accuracy, his touch on the football, the way he throw the ball, and the way he has a great time, and he reminds me of Aaron Rodgers. I think he's gonna be a guy who have low turnover rate. And hey, first year, so good. And I think next year, the way the guys they added and the way the team is looking, it's gonna be pretty good too as well. But yeah, that's all the news for the mandatory mini camps. Now let's dive into some of the trade rumor stuff as well as going around the NFL. Okay, of course, Courtland Sutton name has been going around. Courtland Sutton is a player who, the Denver Broncos, pretty good receiver. I think he's seeking a new contract. Even though he got a few years left on his contract, so trying to seek a new contract, get the contract done, and the Broncos will be looking like, hey, we can find a way to maybe trade him away. And of course, the Steelers name has been the first name that's been going around because the Steelers are looking for another guy on the other side of George Pickens as well. Of course, you got Roman Wilson on the team, and they also have, of course, Van Jefferson, some other guys too, but those guys are not like number 2 guys. Those guys, Roman Wilson maybe could be one, but he's a rookie, so we got to wait and see. But the other guys like Van Jefferson, Quez Watkins, Porter Patterson, those guys are like more like kind of like gadget type of guys. Like guys you put in certain schemes, certain like looks, and give them certain things out there, maybe a deep ball here or there, or something that it might break free throughout the season. But he's not like a guy who could be consistently just your number 2 guy who can put up 800 plus receiving yards every season for you. So Steelers could go out there and get Courtland Sutton. He has a great connection already with, of course, Russell Wilson, as we've seen the past few years. That'd be interesting. The Buffalo Bills, another team as well, who could maybe potentially go out there. They lost, of course, Stephon Diggs. They lost Gabe Davis as well. They drafted Ken Coleman, like I mentioned. They called that right. They got Ken Coleman as well. I think before the draft happened, I said that Ken Coleman would be a great duo with Stephon Diggs. I think he can learn by him and get some stuff going. But Stephon Diggs got traded the next day. I made that video, he got traded the next day. But Ken Coleman is a good player. Has speed as well. Speed, have arm length and ability to make plays, to be a playmaker down the field. But you can add a guy, a veteran receiver like Courtland Sutton, add next to him. That'd be great too as well. So I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't think the Buffalo Bills would mind adding the Courtland Sutton to their team. And then let's see who else. They got the Baltimore Ravens on here as well. Of course, they lost Odell Beckham. Odell Beckham was all right last year for them. They still have Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, other guys too as well. Zay Flowers did pretty good his first year, but adding a guy like Courtland Sutton wouldn't hurt. You know, adding a guy like that, a guy who can just go up there and get the ball for you when things are not as they seem. Like maybe the pocket collapse, you gotta make a play. You can give him a chance. You can go out there and make plays like that. So it wouldn't be bad to add him. So I think Courtland Sutton could get traded, maybe. We can see it happen. If the Broncos are really trying to get off of him, it'd be good for them to keep him there with Bo Nix, you know, young quarterback, get a big target like that on the outside. But if he is looking to get traded, I think those teams right there probably would be the ones, you know. I think most likely probably be, I don't know if the Steelers could do it because the Russell Wilson connection, but I think it might be probably the Bills. I think the Bills probably do it because he's looking like, hey, we lost 2 big receivers. We lost Diggs and we lost Gabe Davis. We added Ken Coleman. Let's add another guy too as well. They might not be those guys yet. You never know what could happen. But let's add those guys to the roster. Also, we've seen some rumor about, they said the 49ers inquired about Justin Jefferson. Now, I don't know if this is true or not, but it's just like the rumor that they said the 49ers inquired about Justin Jefferson before the contract, of course. Before the contract happened, when Justin Jefferson got signed to be the highest paid non-quarterback ever, they inquired about Justin Jefferson. I guess they're trying to add to the team. Maybe they was offering Brandon Ayuk and Deebo Samuel. Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, second round pick. And you give us Justin Jefferson, we pay him the money right here. That would have been crazy too as well. But you know, the Vikings want to keep Justin Jefferson on the team. They want to keep him on the team, and he was never advocating to get out of his off the team. So I think if he was advocating to get off the team, then he probably would have went there. But I think he wanted to be a Minnesota Viking and get the deal done. Another rumor that's going around too as well. It's a proposal trade. It's not a rumor or anything, but it's like somebody made a trade. They said that this could work. Now I don't know about this trade too much. It said the Dallas Cowboys face a decision when it comes to the future star wide receiver CeeDee Lamb, who is holding out of mandatory minicamp, of course. And they said the Steelers could be a team that could fit for him. And they said, how about this? How about the Steelers trade George Pickens and a second-round pick for CeeDee Lamb? But CeeDee Lamb, now it's two things. It's a lot of things wrong about this trade right here. First of all, George Pickens has played 2 years in the league, and if you compare their numbers, you just compare the stats. Compare their numbers like that, these guys really are kind of on pair. Their first 2 seasons in the league. Now, CeeDee Lamb first year in the league, Dak Prescott got injured. But his second year, Dak Prescott was there. And then George Pickens, you know, of course, he played with Mitch Trubisky and Kenny Pickett, and then he played with Kenny, Mitchell, and Mason. Mason did a pretty solid job, but he played with those guys. Look at CeeDee Lamb's first 2 seasons, 153 receiving yards. In those first 2 years, 2,037 receiving yards. 153 receptions in that first year, 2,037 receiving yards, 11 reception touchdowns, 13.2 receptions yards per reception. Yeah, I put that wrong on the list. 115 receptions for George Pickens, 1,941 receiving yards for George Pickens, 9 receiving touchdowns for George Pickens, and 16.9 yards per reception for George Pickens. So basically, they're kind of on par. You know, of course, he got more catches in those 2 years, but the yard is basically on par. Their touchdowns basically on par, and George Pickens got more yards per reception because he got less receptions as well. But they're basically on par. So you're looking like, hey, if I was to get CeeDee Lamb on my team, I want him to be with George Pickens. I just like trade a guy for a guy. I want to have that big type of cord. I want to have a guy on this side and a guy on that side, but you can't guard one-on-one. Like that, but just like if I want to trade straight up with them, and plus George Pickens be cheaper as well. He's only 23 years old. 2 years in, this might be his 3rd year right here. So the Steelers will probably most likely start negotiating some deals with him. And also CeeDee Lamb is going to be warranted some big money. You know, his past 2 years have been very good. He was All-Pro as well, so he's going to be warranted some money. So he's going to be warranted a lot of money. So probably maybe 20. Because like if Justin Jefferson got that much, I don't think he'll get as much as Justin Jefferson got. But he definitely could be getting 30 million plus. So we'll see what happens in that type of contract, type of deal. But I don't think that'd be a smart deal to do because it's like it might for the Steelers, they put them in kind of the bigger, put them in a little hole a little bit. You pay that much for receiver and some other stuff, and then the quarterback's coming up. I think Justin Fields, we got 1 year deal left. We probably find a way to sign him back probably as well. But you want to make sure everything is different. So you want to find deals that kind of benefit you a little bit. I don't want to trade a guy for a guy. I want to keep the guy I got and then trade him and bring him over. So we'll see what happens with that. But that's all I got for today's news. I know it's a little long video, you know, a little all over the place. Try to put everything into one. But I'll be back probably later tonight making a video on, of course, the NBA stuff. So be on the lookout for that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like and subscribe for more content. And I'll see you guys next time on the channel. Peace out.